Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Cookout. This is your host, F1BLAG. One of the front runners has substantially failed to keep within the cost cap. Of course, I'm not personally alleging this, but the rumors in the paddock say it's Red Bull. If I take you back 2 years to 2020, we had Red Bull struggling to compete for wins. Then in 2021, they start the season with a good second advantage. Imagine you're looking right into the eye of Christian Horner. Look in his face. Tell me, do you think he's guilty or not guilty?
Bloody guilty.
A secret evil part of me slightly looks up to Christian Horner. And look, listen, why do I say that? Because that guy is always working the room. You had some drama going on, so you didn't catch it. I'll explain what happened. But basically, the FIA seemed to be very good at finding a convenient penalty that will have no effect on the outcome of anything. Yes, I think people like Will Buxton, who we'll get onto in a minute, sort of say, oh, well, you know, after Abu Dhabi, you want the rules to be enforced, don't you? It's like, yeah, I do want the rules to be enforced. And if you're enforcing all of the other rules, yeah, you can enforce this.
I managed to get some bits and stuff from here and there. So basically, he has a lot of demons in him. I feel bad, man. Seriously, I felt really bad.
You know, particularly if you've had childhood trauma, if it comes from your family or people that you were supposed to trust, for the rest of your life, you'll be testing people that tell you that they love you or that are there for you, because you can't believe that they're there for you, and you'll keep pushing them until ultimately they leave.
All the time when you're in a problem or an issue, your mind is clouded, your judgment is clouded, you don't know what to do. So sometimes others might have better ideas. People sometimes think that they don't deserve that, and they think the bad things that keeps on happening to them, they deserve that bad. But it's not true. There's always a positive side for us to see in things, and it's always a new day once you wake up in the next day. So there's always a chance for you to make things work. I know that it's easier said than done, but unless you try, you never know.
Lewis Hamilton, I think it was on the drivers' parade, or the bit that they did before the rain started coming down on Sunday morning, he said, it's going to be a tough day. And I just wondered, what does he mean? What does he know that we don't? And it was a tough day at the office. And the race started with a kind of standing start as normal, but a wet track. And the track, even though it didn't rain during the race, the track did not dry throughout the entire race because of the humidity and because it was dark. So if we have a nickname for him, but the joke we always make in my group chat is that he's asleep most of the time. So there were a few safety cars, and Sainz would be largely behind his teammate for most of the race. He went over a bump, couldn't get the car slowed down, and just nosed into the wall. And then under the Tsunoda safety car, Lewis pitted. And by the time he'd come out, because obviously he had to change his nose, he was all the way down in P9. The problem was the FIA then had a situation where they had to decide what penalty Perez would get. He had a 7.5 second lead or so. Another example of the FIA completely sort of throwing the sport in the mud. I was going to say throwing a reputation in the mud, but it's already sort of in the mud, turned into sedimentary rock and down at, I don't even know where it will go after that. Pressed into an igneous rock ready for fossilization.
They have this tendency of releasing statements a lot. They have more sample templates than any other website on Google.
So exactly, he was Piastri before Piastri was Piastri. It turns out that Alex Palou is likely to join McLaren in 2024, aka probably the year when his contract would have allowed him to join McLaren all along. This is McLaren in IndyCar, Arrow McLaren.
W13 is a bot, but apparently it just decided to be a wheelbarrow at that time. Drainage water, man. Drainage water, seriously. They really need to clean that water.